Onivia, League of Legends highlights.
Safer matchup in mid in the lane alone.
Yeah, for sure. And then we do see Jarvan the fourth coming in here as the last pick. That will be going into the
Kana, not getting too much chunk damage taken before he gets into the fight, because the shockwave does lead to a lot of early picks. And uh-oh, Kana.
All right, we're going to have Zeus tanking here, and I'm not sure that Kana's going to be able to get away from this one. A very straight-up first blood, going to go the way of KT. LM says, your sacrifice is noted. I will take this Infernal Drake and be happy with that, but a nice gold lead now garnered for especially the Gangplank.
Yeah.
Who's just going to be chopping down these plates now.
And, Blank is still ahead in farm. He's going to get a little bit of extra turret plate gold up here. They're going to drop the Gangplank ult down here to slow down this turret push, so it's not as good of a trade for T1. They won't get the entire turret, I don't believe. They will get all the plates. Actually, more.
Yeah. Drakes can only go so far, right? If you're giving this much value, let's try not to get picked. Speaking of which, Blank looks like he's dead. He's going to try to flash away. Here comes the Galio follow-up. And he will actually commit to using his Zhonya's here, even though he will not get away. Almost, sneaks by with the Orianna shield, but not quite.
Pick him, but now that everyone's grouped up, T1 are going to have to fight on the right side of this pit. And this looks like it's going to turn into a 50-50 here on the Drake.
Yeah, nice 7-10 split there as Hybrid has to flash away. He immediately is going to go down before the fight even begins as the gameplay button there onto Blank. A lot of damage coming out here, and now Gumayusi able to fight a bit front to back. He's looking for Blank here. Will get that third shot and pick up yet another kill. Kana still going forward as they pick off a third KT member. And T1 take a very strong Drake into
KT may wanted to have scored. Thorin's going to get collapsed onto here. This could actually be
He's doing a ton of damage, though. He might just be able to take out Kana before it begins, and he will. Trying now to crit down Gumayusi, not quite going to be able to. And, at the end of the day, you trade a Renekton.
I do agree, but props to Doran for just being like, wait a second, I kill you, actually. The initial part of trying to set up potentially for some of those fights with bowling balls into sleeps. This is really looking really bad, though. Fortunately with the minion wave here, I don't think KT should try to push the issue. They disagree. Zeus is going in.
They want to get on top of Gumayusi, but again, that true damage through the Unbreakable, just making that look really simple. Gumayusi against one cow. Who will win at the end of the day? Gumayusi obviously will take that, and T1 say sure. Deny us the Ocean Drake for now. We don't care. We're going to take a 22-minute Baron.
Yeah. Okay, sure, you got the Ocean Drake. It's your first Drake of the game. That's all you're going to get out of this. I think that was a big misread by KT Rolster to try to go in for that fight. There's a minion wave in between KT and T1. T1 have better positioning. And there's clearly a communications issue in the moment where Zeus goes in by foreseen, unless a big mistake happens from T1, and T1's not the type of team to make mistakes like that, generally speaking. Even Kana has had less isolated deaths this game. He's, those two in the top lane were not his fault. This zoom out shows the story of KT having to play defensively here in a moment where otherwise they would have hoped to be spiking ahead with the Samira taking over these team fights. It just hasn't been.
Blank. Actually, Elm just getting in there. They're forcing this fight so hard. Creating that front line here for Gumayusi, who's just doing insane amounts of damage already. He is so fed in this game. And I love what T1 are doing. There's a lot of wave clear on the side of KT, but they split it up 1-1-3. And they're able to, get some kind of value. They take that top inner turret down. They're going to take this bottom inner turret down. They're not going to break the inhibitors just yet. Obviously, it's still pretty, but we haven't even seen one single fight like that. We've never really seen a big shockwave or a Samira ultimate or anything. T1 just waltz down mid lane and say, thank you very much,
This is a...
We're gonna take your inhibitor and you're gonna pay for it. Like, there's nothing that KT are just sitting here in a rush, desperately trying to start this fight around the Ocean Drake, that they lose their inhibitor.
Look where Hybrid is! Not where he needs to be!
Man. Right in the front, and now Blank has to Zhonya's here. A lot of damage done to LM at least, but Blank looking in a bit of trouble. Does get the flash away, and now finally front to back, and with Gumayusi not able to do that free deal you were talking about, it does look like KT finally able to get a decent fight, but oh, that is so much damage coming in. Finally, they get the Gumayusi, though. Finally, one combo comes in from the side of KT, and you can see what we've been desperately looking for out of this composition. finally come to light as Zeus.
For T1 in this case, so they can keep kind of forcing the minions to be dealt with. Zeus, I don't know about this one.
That wasn't it. He had to wait for a better spot there. Doran will take the oranges and
Go Valdez, where all the lanes are pushed. As Blue Buff wanted to get involved in this one. All the lanes are pushed because of the Baron buff. The Drake is up in 90 seconds, but that's just good there. Breaks on the wall. KT trying to be decisive here, but I don't know about this one. Oh no.
All right, over the wall, he finds UCal, and they do not have much. A huge taunt gets pretty much everybody on the side of KT. Not enough damage is going to come out of this one. The engage this time, too clean and too strong on the side of T1. They're going to teleport in and look to end this game.
Yeah, one small mistake from Gumayusi throughout this entire game in terms of how he was playing the Vayne and how, you know, he got collapsed on there on that one Drake fight. But besides that, he's been positioned very well, and Elim and Kana have set up for him each and every time to just do his job, hit auto attacks, and tumble. That's all he's got to do. When the setup is this good for T1, when they're playing this reactionary, it's really easy to clean it up. And T1 going to take another lead in what has been a very dominant series of telecom wars over the last 2 years.
Yeah, pretty simple for them this time around. They're looking for the win here, 1-0.
Difficult to execute combination, even though it is very strong with Samira Rel. In the laning phase, you have to be very careful about overextending, especially against, like, the threat is more on UCal than it is on Closer, and he's just not able to be as aggressive without that flash either. You're going to see another Rel attempt here going awry.
Trying to get on top of them right now, but here's Blank, and Carry and Gumayusi totally baited into this fight. There is no hope for Gumayusi to get away from this one, as Carrier even going to flash to survive at the straight up 1v1. He's having a much better time on the Renekton, even after having to go for an early back. Still having a great time so far in that lane, up about 10 CS. Here we go, another engage there, track, repel, and Gumayusi in a bit of trouble this time, as the slow and the sleep will come in from Blank, and they will absolutely have enough damage. Now trying to fight this underneath the Gangplank ultimate. I don't think that T1 have the damage right now with Udyr in his
survive too, but this is a disaster.
Yeah, Hybrid, he got baited into this one. He has no flash, and I don't know if he has a way out of this. He blocks all those projectiles, but that last shot will come in, and we got a bunch of TPs in the bottom lane at least. KT looking to try to turn this one around here, as Doran will look to finish off the Rakan on the left side. Gumayusi will be taken out eventually on the right side. As an engage here in the mid lane, UCal getting aggressive once again.
Viable in this case, but they're going to lose the Drake regardless after that skirmish.
Kana looking to help out his buddy Carrier. Very aggressive push into the top side here. They're trying to get some plates and feed it to Hybrid, it looks like. At least one of those. And maybe even potentially take down this turret or force some TPs to come in. 3-on-2, we got the Kaina Barrage to come out, and a full-on charm and so much damage underneath that turret. And yes, we do get that ultimate from Hybrid, but at the end of the day, oh, he's actually going to try to trade this one around, but here comes LM to finally clean up. No teleport used from Closer, they just let the jungle
Hybrid because of this play. So, you know, you'll take these small advantages for KT, but you got to turn them into bigger ones.
Closer does respond to the pressure pretty well. Blank is getting aggressive. He wants to continue the straight, and now UCal finally able to jump into that backline, picks off the Orianna without much of a hitch. Zeus is going to be careful. You know, he's not on full health. He's going to try to get some of this before he goes for the engage. His engage is on the rel. You mentioned how important his role is in this game, and that is absolutely true. As we'll wait and see. You see T1 taking this very patiently. They just want to poke out first. Carrier looking to get that flank angle. Speaking of which, where is the jungler? Or rather, UCal gets into that backline in a big way. Zeus, though, is immediately going to go down, and now these red health bars are falling. Hybrid all alone on the bottom side, not really able to find that damage. UCal trying to go 1v3 here, and is actually kind of successful. Picks off 2 with his buddy Doran. And immediately KT able to pull off the end of that fight in a big manner. You can see huge damage numbers for the Renekton as now they'll look to push mid. Yeah,
there was so much priority on trying to kill the squishy part of KT Rolster that Renekton's Dominus and all the Qs he was able to go off in that fight really started. With the vision control they have, this is just too risky. Teleport's coming through. This is so greedy from KT. They might get away with it, but it doesn't make it right.
Now, looking for the engage. He bolts up 2 of them and immediately just chops them in half. That was, I think T1 saying, oh boy, we got to stop this Drake from happening, and getting a little bit frantic there. And immediately they separate themselves and kind of do KT's job for them.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's the best way to put it. They were like, oh, you want to take this crazy skirmishy fight where 2 of our members are going to get caught by a Yone ult? Okay, we'll deliver that to you. So now they failed to contest the Drake, and KT are going to go ahead and start this Baron. And there's no front line for T1 in this case. Sure, there's no Yone ult anymore, but I mean, trying to delay this or to stop this is, I think, a pipe dream. As Doran's going to go in, and the Baron's going to go down.
Stun goes down on Gumayusi, who has to go over the wall. And you see the other 2 members are a bit zoned away. Sleep is going to go down on Takana, as they will look for that kill. Not quite going to be able to chase over the wall, but they're probably going to get about 5,000 gold, maybe 6,000 gold ahead here. But we're already past the 30-minute mark, as Yukao is just going nuts in this game, looking for any pick he can get. He sees enemy champion, he casts that ult and goes for the throat. And you can see that immediately they're just going to take down these turrets, and T1 have to back away.
Yeah, Zeus is setting up for a follow-up stun there too. He's like, okay, I'm actually going to, as soon as he pops out of Zonia's, I'm going to stun him. Really nice positioning there from Zeus. They're going to use the cannon barrage to push this back. But already an inner turret and an inhibitor turret down. Second inner turret under pressure here in mid.
Out back and be ready to go once again. His cooldowns are relatively low, so he has that flexibility in late game scenarios and doesn't just fall off kind of like other assassins do. So especially when they get fed like this. You see LM though, he's looking for blood. They finally say, we want to fight on our terms, say T1. They're gonna find Blank and Doran in the front line. Zeus looking for the flank here, but they are immediately gonna take out that Lilia. Big engage now from Keria, looking for more. Doran's got a massive shield. LM has to be careful. Big follow-up engage now from Zeus, as Keria is gonna have to go away, and Samira is just doing way too much as the pentakill. I think, no, Yone is going to steal that away. It is an ace in the end, and that is going to be a quadra, and KT will look to push and end the game.
I mean, Yukao was very late on the rotation, but it just didn't matter. This was the one way I feel like T1 could not play this moment, right? They needed to play passive. They needed to play around vision control and maybe trying to control a Drake fight. They saw Yukao on the side lane. They thought, okay, we'll force this fight. Blank's Zonia's fought so much time. The damage output, even on Doran's Renekton alone, is putting everybody low on health. Yukao comes out on the flank, does a ton of damage, and then Hybrid pops his ultimate. That's the end of the story here. KT Rolster are going to bring us to our first third game here in a telecom war that we've had in a very long time.
Yeah, Keria not going to be able to do this alone. Just going for a bit of a walk. Wanted to take a 5th death. Not able to do much. As there you go, KT going to take down the Nexus. And I love the way that they do it. Very the choice here once again for Keria. I was thinking maybe you could also consider a Thresh, not banned in this game, and Keria's Thresh is pretty since then. I'm going to have to stop this bedtime story, as we do have a nice little gank down into the bottom side. Keria very caught out here. The exhaust may be able to keep him alive, but a couple of autos will do the trick, as with the red buff. Blank actually going to take that turret shot, and the flash is not going to be good from Gumayusi. Has to cleanse as well.
Get this up.
Oh, what? Oh, we have a trade down on the bottom side. By the way, Hybrid going to get the one-on-one end here in the team fight. This is what I wanted to see.
And they're going to get another Drake here. They've had control over every objective. Sure, they didn't actually grab.
I'm going to kill the opponent. He's bringing so much pressure up to the top side. Kind of misses his ultimate and wallop there, though. A little bit unfortunate.
Left.
And now he is just going to get burst down. Not really going to be able to trade this one back. So at the end of the day, he was drawing a ton of pressure. Did mess up a little bit. They wait right for the timing. They love to just pick up kind of a semi-free Cloud Soul. Also, baiting T1 into a fight here is not a bad play. You want to try to fight here before Vayne gets on the board. They're just going to burst down Keria. That is a fantastic stopwatch timing, though. He immediately does go down, but this isn't looking half bad for T1. They're trying to get into that backline, but here comes Hybrid, able to hit that S rank and immediately turn this one around. Took T1 a little bit too long, to take down the 80 carry from the side of KT. 4,000 damage comes out from the Samira. They were going ham trying to take her out, and Hybrid shows them who's boss.
Doran's positioning was perfect. They didn't know where Closer was, but it was a pretty good bet. He was going to be coming from bot side. They had vision of him in the lane, so they knew he was either going to come up that way or he's going to take the longer path, you know, through the jungle, which would mean they'd be safe anyways, but Doran was there. UCal could just Destiny away. He's so free to escape. He's got Ghost right now as well. Like, how could he even kill him while he's side laning? So right now, T1 is caught between a rock and a hard place in this game. They're going to try to maybe flank.
This is one way to try to do it, a big taunt into that backline, but a huge Gnar ultimate follow-up there from Doran. The damage is pretty good, but at the same time, Hybrid goes down, and now T1 desperately trying to get in there. Gumayusi able to get a pick off on the front line. Blank going very aggressive, not sure about that one. Zeus gets caught off up on the top side, and immediately, because the big engage goes on to Hybrid, who has no flash, T1 are able to turn that fight around.
Yeah, the lack of flash is a huge issue for him in this big fight that ensues, and it was a really nice setup for T1 on the side. They collapse in, and their target calling is perfect. Kill Hybrid, he's out of position, he has no flash, and you know, I'm sure that's what they're screaming throughout that entire fight in calm. No flash on Hybrid. You actually have to be doing the damage on them, so positioning is so difficult. But that vision gives you the enough advanced warning. And they really need to respect Closer's ultimate.
Oh boy. See, even Zeus comes in. Doran kind of gets a flailing engage there. Closer, though, does move back. They're going to try to isolate Keria here, but immediate exhaust goes down onto Doran, and he just gets burst to smithereens. Closer with his own stopwatch. They're opening up so much room here for the Vayne to just chip away and kite down one by one each member of KT. As you can see, now everything has gone wild. Hybrid all alone here, gonna look for that ultimate, gets into the backline and opens up on two of them. Immediately turns this fight around in a big way. Closer going to put the pressure on a blank, but Hybrid keeps the hopes alive here. T1 still going to win in the end, as they will go for this Cloud Drake.
What a play from Hybrid, though. He gave him a little bit of the runaround on red side jungle, then came into the back and gets Keria, who's so low level. Okay, this might be a bit overzealous, though.
Okay, well, they got the TF in the backside. This is interesting. Now KT are getting skirmishy. The Hextech Rocket Belt not going to work out.
If you start the Baron here, when you have vision control, you can force that fight in your favor. Closer is so ready to engage here, even over the wall if need be. And this is, KT really needs to do a little bit more poke damage than they are right now. Very slow on this.
All right, Dominus pops here. Huge engage coming in from Closer, but immediate exhaust. That is a nice knock-up now from Keria. Trying to engage, and a massive sleep is coming in. This might be T1's moment with the Renekton in the backline. Immediately gets burst down, though, and the kiting is real from the side of KT. And finally, Hybrid finds his moment. The double kill comes in, and we've seen...
Yeah, only Renekton can, but they turn on him and blow him up in an instant. And this looks like it might be the push to end the game. Doran teleports in. T1 in a desperate defense here. They've got 20 seconds until Closer's back up. This might just be the game. I think it very well likely.
They need to clear the minions. You can see Keria, he's desperately trying to get in the back, but we have another wave coming in, and now Elim just disappears himself. And we don't, you can see he's trying to bring the minions out of position, but one little range minion gets in range. They're gonna target down the Nexus, and it looks like KT will just barely take the win. They take down the Nexus and upset T1 here 2-1 as they go wild in the team house.
KT Rolster with the upset win, 2-1 here in our first telecom war for 2020.